Hello, everyone. I am absolutely thrilled to be with you today at ChangeNOW. I'm Laura Jane, I'm a journalist, and in 5 minutes, we're going to talk about how to create radical change. But first, we're going to welcome a dancer. I'm so happy to have her with us today. Her name is Amélie Joannides. She's a dancer from half Greece, half French, and she's at the Opéra de Paris. She's a ballet. She uses dance as a therapeutical tool. So she will make us breathe and be in our bodies. Ladies and gentlemen, please make a round of applause for Amélie Joannides.
Hi everyone, welcome. Radical change. Radical change can only start with radical inner change. In order to change the world, we first need to change ourselves. So I invite you today to check in with yourself, to leave for a while your intellect, your thinking mind, your judging mind, to stop thinking and start feeling. So I invite you to maybe close your eyes and tune into your body. What is your body telling you right now? At every moment, your body is sending you information about your outer environment. Is it noisy? Do your clothes feel heavy today? What are you gathering of information? And now, what information is your body sending you about your inner environment? What are you feeling? Not what are you thinking, what are you feeling today? Do you have any emotions that's coming up? Maybe you feel a little bit of tiredness, sadness, hope. What are you feeling? And where are you feeling it? Where are you feeling in your body your emotions? Is it in your throat, maybe? Do you feel it in your chest? Do you have butterflies in your stomach? Do you have shaky hands, like I do right now? Where are you feeling it? These are very precious information about yourself. A very, very good way to connect our body and our mind is the breath. To breathe in, to breathe out. So I invite you to follow me and start with the belly and take a big, big breath in 4 counts. And breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4, and out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once again, and in 1, 2, 3, 4, and out. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now a bigger one, and breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it, hold it, hold it. And out. 2, 3, 4. Hold it down, hold it down. And come back. Now, it's a workshop, so we have a little work to do. So, exactly, we're going to start to use our hands. Thank you. I invite you to give you a little self-massage today, warming up your hands. And usually our shoulders tend to hold a lot of tension. So we can also, give ourselves a little massage. If there is a space you feel is tight, don't hesitate to tap on it, Yeah, we need to take care of our bodies. Our body is nature. So, little take care, yes. And now, if you feel like it, I invite you to rise up, to stand up. Hey, yes. And without pay attention to your to the people close to you, but we're going to look like fools, but it doesn't matter. We are going to start to shake. Shake it, release all the tension. Amazing. Shake it out, shake it out. Woo. Yes, release tension in the hips, in the shoulder. Shake the hands, shake it off, really. Yes, 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 amazing. And now, big breath, pay attention to your big breath in and stretch and try to reach over there. Try to reach, hold, and let go. Yes, one more time. Try to take like a big ball of sun, of energy. Stretch it, hold, try to reach the sky, and let go. Yes. One last time, and even bigger, try to like really touch the walls, gather all your energy, and now we're going to go down, but slowly, like we are pressing the air. Like all this energy is going down in your legs, creating roots. Yes. One other little exercise. We go back to our hands. We rub it, but now we rub it like strong, harder, really like we want to create heat. Our bodies are able to create heat, that's amazing. And we rub it even more, really like you want to create fire. Yes. And when you feel you cannot go further, and stay there, stay with yourself, just stay there. Yes. What do you see behind those hands? What do you feel in this position? Yes, and you can gently come back. Put your hand on your chest. Another big breath. This is your inner center, your inner silence. Whatever is going on outside, we are always able to tune in and find some silence. Yes. Our bodies express what our mind suppresses. And by tuning in into our bodies, we can have access to a different kind of intelligence. We can have access to a different kind of knowledge by just feeling. Again, stop thinking and start feeling. There is so much you can learn about yourself, therefore about life itself. By being more present, more grounded, by you letting the emotion go through your body. And I want to finish this little session with the word of Satish Kumar, who is coming on stage very soon, who told me to tell you that radical change starts with radical love. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amélie. It's now time to welcome our two rock stars guests. Please, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Satish Kumar and Otto Scharmer. Please have a seat. We'll talk together, obviously. Okay, so I'm pretty sure lots of people know who they are already, but however, let me remind you for maybe the 2 or 3 people who don't know. Otto Scharmer, you are the co-founder of the Presencing Institute and author of the Theory U. You are an action researcher who co-creates innovations in learning and leadership. And also, you just published a wonderful book that is called Presencing, and you will book sign it at 3:15 over there. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to see Otto, it's at 3:15 for his new book. Thank you so much for being here, Otto. Satish, it's impossible to sum up your life, obviously. Lots of people probably heard it before, but just to make it short, you're an activist, you're an author, an editor at emeritus of Resurgence magazine and Ecologist. Please look it up later. And for me, you're clearly a spiritual guide. So thank you to the both of you for being here. We have short time, so let's jump straight into the content. My first question, what makes you being here today in your personal lives? What made you want to dig so much about radical change? What happened in your life that made you interested in that?
Should I start? Okay. I have come here because I feel that the change will come from the grassroots level. Change is not going to come from Palais Élysée. Change is not going to come from White House or big industry. Change will come from grassroots level, from bottom up. And this change now, and a radical change, and I've written a book called Radical Love. So radical change will come from radical love. And that has to be led by ordinary people like you and I who are here, and not wait for governments to bring change, because they are always going to be engaged in power and ego and prestige. So real change will come from grassroots. And this is a conference where businesses and ordinary people and NGOs, they're all coming together to bring about a real transformation. That's what bringing me here.
Satish, you know this. You know that change will come from grassroots people, people from the room.
Yeah.
But most people, they think they can't bring change. So what would you like to tell to the grassroots, normal people, everyday life, not people from the White House, for them to be empowered?
The change starts from where we are. I started to walk from India to America, walking. How did I do it? Step by step. I started 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 4 step, 5 step, and after 2.5 years, I was in Washington. So, change will come from the first step, step by step. And so, I would like to say that before you start to change the world, start with yourself. Be the change that you want to see in the world. Be the radiator. Be the shining example. And when you are the radiating change, then that will affect other people. And then communicate the change like we are doing here. Because communication is very important. And then organize the change. Work together. At the moment, we don't work together. We are always criticizing other people. He's not right, she's not right, that is not right, that is not right. We waste too much of our time in criticizing other people. Join other people to bring about change. So 3 things. Be the change, communicate the change, and organize and work together for change. The change will happen.
Thank you, Satish. Otto.
I would say that says it all. Be the change, communicate the change, and organize for it. And
Wow.
Yes.
What a voice.
so that says it all. And then an early experience I had in my life that put me on that path is that I grew up on a regenerative farm. And what I learned from my father is that the quality of what's growing above the ground is a function of the quality of the soil. radical comes from radix, right? It means literally roots, right? So it literally means we need to deal, when we talk about social change, about the social soil, about the quality of our roots. And that's the invisible part of the change, which in all social change is the most important one. What is that? It's the quality of our awareness, our consciousness, and it's the quality of our relationships. And that's, I think, the three principles that you mentioned are all speaking to that. Yes. And that is something I think we all have learned in many experiences of our life. We are here 10 years after the Paris Agreement. We all reference the Paris Agreement as one of the milestones of what we have accomplished. But how was that accomplished? It was accomplished with a strategy that had two pieces. One is engage all the key stakeholders in deep listening-based dialogues. And the other one was what Christiana Figueres and her team, Paul and the other ones, referred to as Operation Groundswell. Because of all the principles that you just mentioned. At the end of the day, what happens in politics is a function of civil society. It's a function of Operation Groundswell, kind of all the engagement we can mobilize together. So I would say, pointing at that accomplishment, it probably is a little bit both and, right? You need the grassroots, and that's the foundation for everything. But you also need to engage the institutions and the leaders, and they don't exclude each other. And what's missing today is the cultivation of the social soil.
Wonderful.
And that would mean radical.
You can applaud Otto, obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
So obviously everybody, pretty much everybody, is convinced of what you both said right here, right now. But how do we convince people who are far from questioning themselves about creating radical change, people who are probably desperate about the state of the world? How do we convince them and make them part of being the movement of the grassroots change?
I mentioned radiator. Radiator does not say, how am I going to warm other people? Radiator radiates the heat. And other people who are cold will come to the radiator and be warm. And so don't worry about convincing other people who are closed-minded. Be the change and radiate the change and be so attractive. Communication should be so beautiful. Like Louis Armstrong sang the song. When I say to myself, what a beautiful world it is. And when I say, how do you do? I mean, I love you. Sing songs like that. Sing songs like John Lennon. Write some beautiful poems. Communicate beautifully, that people will come. This change now here, thousands of people are coming because you are radiating. You are not saying we want to communicate with those people who are closed-minded. Don't bother about them. Communicate to those who are ready to listen, and they will come to you. And when they will go and radiate more energy. So this way, we are building the grassroots movement, and that is the real change. And don't bother about those who are closed-minded. They will come to you when you are radiator, because they are cold, and they need warmth, and that warmth is with you. So be the radiator.
Let's be radiators. Otto.
Again, be the change, radiate the change. The only footnote I would add to that is this: and connect with the reality around you. And what is that reality? It is a reality of collapse. When systems are collapsing, and really the way to deal with fear is to think it through the end.
What does it mean to think it through the end?
So when systems are collapsing, what is it we are left with? We are left with relationships.
Very good.
Relationships we have to the land, relationships we have to each other, and the relationship we have to ourselves. So cultivating these relationships is, no matter to what degree the collapse that we are already inside of is progressing, is the foundation to move forward. So in a spirit of be the change and radiate the change.
Very good. Very good.
I think there is something we all witness being powerless, which is that youth, the young people today, are in a bad place. Their mental health is really bad, and that's something we talk more and more on a debate in society. However, what would you like to say to the youth who feel desperate in front of the system collapsing? What would you like to say to the young kids who are teenagers right now?
I would say, young people, leave your smartphone behind. Leave your social media behind and go out in nature. Your mental health, your physical health will increase and improve, and you will get imagination, you will get creativity, and you will come with new ideas. When I am feeling low, I go and walk in nature. At the moment, our young people are disconnected with nature. They are all the time sitting indoor with their smartphone, their computers, and they don't see the trees, they don't swim in the rivers, and they don't go out in nature. So the treatment for the depression and the kind of low energy and anxiety is to go out in nature and do something with your hand. Something with your hand. We are not using our hands. These hands are miracle. These hands can build this beautiful building like this one. And these hands can make beautiful things like pottery and furniture. So cook your food, garden, do something. Just don't sit by your smartphone. Your smartphone will make you more depressed and more anxious, and more social media will make you more depressed. So if you don't want to be depressed, you are causing your own depression by being glued to your smartphone and social media and not going to garden and not going into nature.
I'm going to drop it right after the stage. Put in the bish. Otto.
Go out in nature.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amen. So, yes, it is about, I would say, strengthening all three relationships I just mentioned. The relationship to the land, doing something with our hand, putting our hand into the soil.
Yes.
Then the second thing is, you cannot do it alone. No one can do it alone. You need a community, and that can be one other person. That's enough. If it's 3 or 4 or 5, that is so much better. But it doesn't need to be an infinite number. But you cannot do it alone. You need to kind of find with at least one person that same level of wavelength of deep or generative listening and dialogue with each other around what it is that you really care about. That's number 2. And number 3, I would say, is connecting to your own purpose. And develop practices that every single day, at least for a moment, and the moment could be as short as just a few minutes, does intentionally ground you in these 3 dimensions, to the land, to each other, and to your purpose.
You wanted to add something, Satish?
That's fine.
That's fine. So you talk obviously about awareness, consciousness, that we need to raise the level of consciousness. How do we do that on a personal level? If I have some topics in my life I'm blocked on. I can't move forward. Is there anything else than therapy?
Personal level. First of all, I would like you to wake up in the morning at a personal level and read poetry. How many of you read poetry? Okay, good number, but not enough. Every morning, I and my wife, we read poetry. Hafiz, Rumi, Dante, Shakespeare. That's wonderful poets in the world. On a personal level, read poetry every morning. That's your meditation. Then I would say, personal level, go and plant a seed in the ground, the soil. When you plant a seed in the soil, you will feel inspired. So gardening, even if you're living in a Paris, have a window box and make some soil there. As Otto said, soil. Unless you do something with your hand, you say, how do I get out of depression? Nobody else is going to give you medicine. You are the doctor of your own body. You are the doctor of your own mind. You are the doctor of your heart. Don't wait for somebody else to come and tell you what to do. So read poetry, plant a seed, and then make something with your hand, and you will be fine.
Otto.
How do we develop consciousness? Through listening. I think the missing resource in society today is not speaking and is not sense-making, because there is a lot of spaces of sense-making. The problem is it's all happening in our silos, and we are not making sense together, co-sensing. So I think the answer of developing consciousness is in collective spaces of listening and collective spaces of co-sensing, which is a missing set of institutions in our societies and communities today,
Otto,
which we need to co-generate.
very concretely, what does it mean to sit in circles with people and listen to each other? Is that what you're saying?
That's what it means, and that's how you create communities. And to refine the quality of our listening from waiting before I come with my own speech to actually grasping what's being said, to really opening your heart and putting yourself in someone else's shoes, and from there to listen to what is between the lines, kind of what is emerging from the future. And when I say future, I don't mean something abstract that is happening some other place, some other time, but I mean the future is the utmost personal thing, in the sense of it's a possibility that looks at me and that looks at us, because it needs me and us to manifest, to come into reality. So that how to connect to that space of inner resonance, to the emerging future, is a listening that needs to go, a collective listening that needs to go through the space of silence. And that's the missing resource in our societies. It's related to the social soil, the quality of the social soil. If we are not creating these spaces, all the individual efforts that we have will not add up.
When you talk about listening, just you remember, we have 2 ears. 2 ears.
2 hands and 2
one
ears.
mouth. So 1 part speaking, 2 parts listening. That's a deep listening. In Indian tradition, we say listening is a feminine quality and speaking is a masculine quality. So 2 parts feminine, 1 part masculine. So I call it F2M. F2M. 2 part feminine, 1 part masculine. Like O2, the water formula.
Oh yeah, okay. O2, the water formula.
Yeah. So the living formula is 2 part feminine, 1 part masculine. 2 part listening, because we have 2 ears, and 1 part speaking. And that's a deep listening of Otto.
So that very obviously it means we should listen more than we should talk.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously. Let's name it. Okay. We have 5 minutes left, so let's try to be impactful. Well, I mean, you talk a lot, Satish, about positive leadership.
Yes.
Who inspires you?
Oh, yes, there are many, many great leaders in the world. Of course, you have inspired me. I had a great honor and a privilege to meet Martin Luther King. He was the embodiment of radical change and radical love. So the leaders who are prepared to sacrifice themselves in the service of the earth, in the service of the planet, in the service of humanity, in the service of the downtrodden, and some service of the exploited. So Martin Luther King was one of my great heroes. Then also in our modern times, there are many, many great leaders who have done good work. And for example, in India, we have a wonderful woman called Vandana Shiva.
Yes.
And she's a great inspiration to me. And I always go to India and I work with her. And she is planting the seeds. She has got 25-acre farm, 500 mango trees. And she's working on the grassroots level and also promoting seeds and promoting organic farming. So there are many great leaders like that.
What are their common qualities?
Huh?
What are the qualities, the common qualities of those leaders?
The great leaders are those who are there as the servants of the people. Service, all the great leaders, Mahatma Gandhi, all the great leaders, you take Nelson Mandela, they were in the service of humanity, service of other people. They sacrificed their own comfort. Nelson Mandela was in prison for 27 years to make South Africa free and black people rise to their status and their true potential. So that kind of service to other people and sacrificing their own comfort for the service of humanity and service of the planet Earth. Those are the qualities that we need. Servant leader.
I know you both said that the change will come from grassroots activism, from grassroots people. However, I can't stop myself from thinking that a shaman at the White House wouldn't hurt humanity. What do you think, Otto?
Well, 2 things. I mean, one, to the earlier question, I want to add, yes, those are amazing examples of what have been inspiring all of us. And we probably go into the period where what the kind of leadership necessary is a collective leadership. And we actually see a lot of examples. So the most recent one I experienced the past 2 weeks actually in Latin America is, a whole 300 grassroots activists working together over 3 years across 19 Latin American countries. And the core group that was holding that together is a group of 7 women. So it's 7F0M. And that is for this invisible leadership, right? Often the recipe that you see. Not necessarily 7M, but kind of it's even more than 2/3, 1/3. And
It's not right now.
another collective example, I think we have seen with the Tesla stock price going down 41%, sales down in Germany 76%, and in other countries, in China it's minus 50. That is collective action, awareness-based collective action that is actually forcing a real response and talking in a language that communicates. I think, again, that's a small example of the type of collective action that is necessary right now.
Collective leadership.
So the White House and the shaman, yes, perhaps if there's a demand for that, absolutely. But often we have seen an overemphasis of the concept. If only we bring powerful people, with enlightened individuals, something positive would happen. And I see many of you shaking your head because we have seen that resulted in exactly nothing. And I believe a lot more what you said out
agree
before.
with you, yeah.
The grassroots, right? Kind of the peace pilgrimage that started with the first step you take, and then it's kind of activating that.
Yeah.
But essentially, what I really believe is that we need both, right? And but just an enlightened person, right? Sending it into White House where there is no openness, that's not the recipe. I don't think so. I think the recipe is activating our movement. At the end of the day, what happens in politics is a function of the grassroots movement that not only is based on civil society, but all the sectors that we are engaged in, and that's the call of our time.
Otto, I mentioned a few leaders, but they came from the grassroots level. A leader is not a special kind of person, but every person, all of you, are special kind of leaders. All of us have a leadership quality. And therefore, we should not wait for some leaders to come and save the world. All of us can take initiative and create a collective leadership. So I totally agree with you, Otto, but I was just saying good examples who inspired me. But we are all leaders, potentially.
Satish and Otto, yes. So we need to wake up our own leaders sleeping inside of us first, and then what other call to action would you like to share with the room today? Call to action.
Well, just embody what Satish was sharing with us, right? We are all leaders, right? If you double-click on the English word leadership, right, and look at the Indo-European word root, it literally means this. Leadership is stepping forth. Yeah. It's stepping forth from one world that we know very well into another one that we don't know what it is and can only find out about if we have the courage to put our foot into the unknown. And that is exactly I think the call for action is this kind of leadership. And what I learned over the years is when you lead in this way, which is exactly the way that the current situation is calling for, when you try to organize around something that's emerging, that's not fully there, there's only three things you need. You need, number one, a sense of direction, where you want to go to, right? That you clarify your own intention. And then, number two, you need the next baby step you're going to take now, right? Not the plan, kind of how you move all forward, just the next baby step. And then you need to take that step and to read the feedback that the universe is giving to you with your heart, because your heart already knows. And then you iterate and iterate and iterate. So it is actually something that is not magical, but quite doable. And if you listen to the knowing of your heart, and if you take these baby steps forward, it will lead us the right way.
Thank you. Satish.
In order to be a leader, you and I, all of us, need to be prepared to take a risk. If we don't want to take a risk, we cannot be a leader. A leader is prepared to take a risk. So that's the one quality. Be prepared to take a risk. Then sometimes people say, oh, this is too difficult. This is too hard. Leader does not say it's too difficult. Difficulties are welcome. Hardships are welcome. Nelson Mandela did not say that ending apartheid was too difficult or being in prison was too difficult. So do not do something because it's too difficult, too hard. The leader will take the responsibility to take hard decisions, take a risk, and not be afraid of difficulties and hardships.
I totally agree with what you both said. However, this morning I was talking to Paula, who's right here, and who had a formation. She's becoming a therapist in hypnosis, to get people hypnotized. Sometimes in our lives, as we have so much goodwill, but we can't, there's something, I want to be a leader, I want to take the first step, but I can't. For whatever reason, my ancestors, my childhood traumas, whatever. What can we do when we have something really blocking us? I mean, getting hypnotized, what else?
You need community. You need a holding space. And perhaps the most important aspect of all leadership today is to create holding spaces that allow us to move beyond just pushing for where we need to go. And in the whole climate movement, we see a setback now where that approach has not gotten us far enough, even though we have made progress. And what we need to do is to attend to, exactly as you said, what actually is holding us back. Mm-hmm. And we need collective holding spaces, listening spaces that allow these things to be articulated and addressed.
That's enough.
Systems leadership essentially is not pushing for the right things. Systems leadership is recognizing the barriers and addressing them. Yeah. And for that, we need these different kind of holding spaces.
Yes, yes.
And that's the work we need to do.
So in those spaces, the magic can happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
For example, community. We created Schumacher College in England. And at Schumacher College, that sense of community where many, many people came and worked together, supported each other, encouraged each other, and that way we have created a number of great leaders from there. So I think if you are afraid, if you are shy, then other people can help you. So creating a space like that. So in France, we should create a Schumacher College, French Schumacher College, in Germany, in every country, Italy, and in India. So we need to create those small communities of people where we can support each other and help each other and encourage each other to go out and work in the world.
Just to add to that, there has never been a movement in history that created real change without a support structure like Schumacher College has been for a certain period.
Yes.
And what we now need is these type of quality spaces and places in all countries, in all cities, in all communities. That is the most important work, and it's the most impossible to fund. That's a call for action too.
Yeah.
Last question. You talked a lot about community, the power of circles, community, deep listening. There's community organizing by Sol Alinsky. Everyone can look it up if you don't know it. But how do we create a community?
The community is a kind of state of mind. You have to want to be part of a community. Our body is a community of billions of bacteria. No one can exist individually, separately. We are all interconnected, we are all interrelated, we are all interbeings. And therefore, we have to, no atom, no electron, no proton, no particle can exist by itself. We live in a community. We have to live in a community. So, but we don't understand, we don't realize. We are saying, I'm a separate individual, I'm a separate individual. There is no such thing as separation. The whole cosmos is a country. Cosmos is our community. Whole planet Earth is our community. Nature is our nationality. So connect with other people, with your neighbors, love your neighbor, as Christians will say, and connect with everybody. So I think it's a state of mind. If you want to create a community, you can. Always people are there, and also nature is there.
So I would say we live in a time of two narratives. There's the narrative of destruction, and there's a narrative and something burning down, and there's a narrative of something being born. And that has to do with a planetary movement that is already existing, across the planet, but that is not aware of itself because it is not seeing itself.
Yes.
And what's missing is mechanisms that allow the planetary movement that we already are sense and see itself. And for that, we need new enabling infrastructures. Part of that digital and part of that in person and play space.
What
and
is yes.
an example for that is a series that we just launched called presencingseries.org. If you Google that, presencingseries.org, that will get you to a free launching landing site. And it is a series of events that is highlighting key transformation living examples and creating community around that across specific geographies in a period of 2 hours. So it's happening between now and late June over the next 2 months. And it is one of the parts of this digital backbone that is necessary to allow the larger, and that's, I think, how systems change really happens. It doesn't happen by preaching at people, but it does happen by making systems sense and see itself. And that's the kind of innovation that is necessary today and that we together need to create.
Can you repeat the name of the site?
Presencingseries.org.
.org. Okay, thank you.
In order to develop community, we have to move from ego to eco. Change from G to C. And you are in the realm of community. Community cannot happen if you are self-centered, ego-centered, egotistical, me, I. Move from me to we, I to us. Move from the idea of I think, therefore I am, the Cartesian French idea, I think, therefore I am. But go for you are, therefore I am. Tu es, donc je suis. You are, therefore I am. That's the community. Community is together. Me, separation. This ego, you have to let go of ego and go to eco. Then you are a community.
Thank you. We're going to have to hand the floor, but Satish, you wanted to finish with a song.
Yeah, I would like to end with a song. Please, everybody stand up. I will repeat the song first, and then you sing. It's very short, and it will be quick to remember. I walk in beauty before me. I walk in beauty behind me. I walk in beauty above me. I walk in beauty below me. I walk in beauty all around me. The whole world is beautiful. The whole world is beautiful. The whole world is beautiful. Ho! Everyone together. Everybody together.
Thank you.
I walk in beauty before me. I walk in beauty behind me. I walk in beauty above me. I walk in beauty below me. I walk in beauty all around me. The whole world is beautiful. The whole world is beautiful. The whole world is beautiful. Ho! Once again. Once again. Once again. I walk in beauty before me. I walk in beauty behind me. I walk in beauty above me. I walk in beauty below me. I walk in beauty all around me. The whole world is beautiful. The whole world is beautiful. The whole world is beautiful. Ho!
Woo, woo, woo!
Thank you. From today, we go home and create beauty. That's your mission. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much to Otto, Scharmer and Satish Kumar. Please make a beautiful round of applause. Bravo.